Welcome to Easy Driver, the most reliable source of automotive information on YouTube. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. In this video, we'll explore the upcoming changes in 2025 and how they will impact businesses, governments, and consumers alike. Let's get started. More stringent testing procedures. The new standards will introduce more rigorous testing procedures to ensure that vehicles are meeting the required emission standards in real-world driving conditions. Incentives for electric and hybrid vehicles. The 2025 standards will include incentives for manufacturers to produce more electric and hybrid vehicles, which will help to drive the adoption of these cleaner technologies. Benefits of the 2025 emission standards. So, what benefits can we expect from these new standards? The answer is clear: a cleaner, healthier environment, and a more sustainable future. Some of the key benefits include reduced air pollution. The new standards will lead to a significant reduction in air pollution, which will have a major impact on public health, particularly in urban areas. Lower greenhouse gas emissions. By reducing emissions and improving fuel efficiency, the 2025 standards will help to combat climate change and reduce our reliance on fossil fuels. Cost savings. With more fuel-efficient vehicles on the road, drivers will save money on fuel costs, which will also help to reduce the economic burden of transportation. Increased competitiveness. The 2025 standards will help to drive innovation in the automotive industry, which will increase competitiveness and lead to the development of new, cleaner technologies. Comparison of 2024 and 2025 emission standards. As we move forward in the fight against climate change, emission standards continue to play a crucial role in reducing greenhouse gas emissions from vehicles. The transition from 2024 to 2025 emission standards marks a significant step towards a cleaner and more sustainable future. But what exactly are the differences between these two standards, and how will they impact the automotive industry and the environment? Key differences in emission limits. The 2025 emission standards introduce more stringent emission limits compared to the 2024 standards. Some of the key differences include a reduction in particulate matter (PM) emissions by 50%, a 20% reduction in nitrogen oxide (NOx) emissions, a 10% reduction in carbon monoxide (CO) emissions, a 5% reduction in hydrocarbon (HC) emissions. These reductions may seem small, but they add up to make a significant impact on air quality and public health. To put it into perspective, a 50% reduction in PM emissions is equivalent to removing 1 million cars from the road. Impact on vehicle manufacturers. The new emission standards will undoubtedly pose challenges for vehicle manufacturers. They will need to invest in new technologies and manufacturing processes to meet the stricter emission limits. This may lead to increased production costs, which could be passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices. However, the long-term benefits of these investments far outweigh the costs. By developing more efficient and environmentally friendly vehicles, manufacturers can improve their brand reputation and appeal to environmentally conscious consumers, reduce their carbon footprint and contribute to a more sustainable future. Stay ahead of the competition and comply with increasingly stringent regulations. Environmental implications. The 2025 emission standards have significant environmental implications. By reducing emissions, we can improve air quality and reduce the negative impacts on public health, mitigate the effects of climate change and reduce greenhouse gas emissions, protect and preserve natural habitats and ecosystems. The benefits of these standards extend beyond the environment. By promoting sustainable transportation, we can also support economic growth and job creation in the clean energy sector, improve energy security and reduce dependence on fossil fuels, enhance the overall quality of life for communities around the world. Preparing for the future, compliance and implementation. As we approach the 2025 deadline for new emission standards, it's essential for vehicle manufacturers and governments to prepare for the changes ahead. Meeting these standards will require a concerted effort from all parties involved, and it's crucial to understand the strategies and roles that will ensure a smooth transition. Strategies for vehicle manufacturers to meet 2025 emission standards. Vehicle manufacturers will need to adopt a multifaceted approach to meet the 2025 emission standards. Here are some key strategies they can employ. Electrify their fleets. One of the most effective ways to reduce emissions is to transition to electric vehicles, EVs. Manufacturers can start by introducing more EV models, investing in battery technology, and improving charging infrastructure. Improve fuel efficiency. For non-electric vehicles, manufacturers can focus on improving fuel efficiency through advanced engine technologies, aerodynamics, and lightweight materials. Invest in alternative fuels. Manufacturers can explore alternative fuels like hydrogen, biofuels, and natural gas to reduce dependence on fossil fuels. Optimize production processes. Manufacturers can reduce emissions during production by implementing sustainable manufacturing practices, using renewable energy sources, and minimizing waste. By adopting these strategies, vehicle manufacturers can not only meet the 2025 emission standards but also stay ahead of the competition and appeal to environmentally conscious consumers. Role of governments in enforcing emission standards. Governments play a critical role in enforcing emission standards and ensuring compliance from vehicle manufacturers. Here are some key responsibilities. Set clear regulations. Governments must establish clear and enforceable regulations that outline the emission standards, testing procedures, and penalties for non-compliance. Monitor and enforce compliance. Governments must regularly monitor vehicle manufacturers' progress and enforce penalties for those who fail to meet the standards. Provide incentives. Governments can offer incentives, such as tax breaks or subsidies, to encourage vehicle manufacturers to invest in sustainable technologies and practices. Invest in infrastructure. Governments can invest in infrastructure, such as charging stations and alternative fueling stations, to support the transition to cleaner vehicles. By working together, governments and vehicle manufacturers can ensure a successful transition to the 2025 emission standards and create a more sustainable transportation sector. The changes in emission standards between 2024 and 2025 are a significant step towards reducing our environmental footprint. One thing is clear: the future of transportation will be shaped by these new regulations. As we move forward, it's essential to consider the impact of these changes on our daily lives. Will the increased costs of new vehicles be offset by the long-term benefits of reduced emissions? How will manufacturers adapt to these new standards, and what innovations can we expect to see in the coming years? One thing is certain: the clock is ticking. With the 2025 standards just around the corner, it's time to start thinking about what this means for our planet and our pockets. Stay ahead of the curve and join the conversation about the future of transportation. Thanks for taking the time to explore the changing landscape of emission standards with me. What do you think the future holds for sustainable transportation? Please comment, like, share, and subscribe for more automotive information like this. Thank you for watching.